What's going on, guys? Bob Buskirk here at ThinkComputers, and today we're taking a look at a CPU cooler from LEPA. It is their LV12, so let's go ahead and take a look. The LV12 comes in LEPA's typical retail packaging. We have a photo of both the style of coolers on the front. So there is a white version and there is a black version. So depending on your build, what color you want, you can get white or black. It lets us know some of the main features on the front, which are U-shaped structure, increases the heat exchange rate, SNTC coating extends the cooler life expectancy, and HDT eliminates CPU hot zone. Of course, we'll go over all that technology in our full review. If we go to this side, we can see all of our specifications and a full overview of the cooler with its size dimensions. So that's important. Of course, if you want to fit it in a smaller system or you may have RAM issues or something like that, you can see all of the dimensions right there. On the opposite side, just gives us everything that is inside and lets us know that we do have the black version, not the white version. And then on this side, there is just some more features in a ton of different languages, but I know you guys just want me to open this up and get inside, so let's go ahead and do that and see what we have here. So when we open this up, it does say LEPA aim for excellence, so we have that on there. And we open it up and everything, as you can see, is nicely packaged in there, and we'll try to get it all out. So we have the cooler first, which we will go into in just one second, and we'll get our box of bag of accessories, which there are a couple things I want to check out in this accessories package. Everything comes in this bag, as you can see. One thing I always like to look at when it comes to CPU coolers is your user's manual. And looking at this one, it does have diagrams. It's kind of hard to see because we do have the brightness turned up on our camera here, but there is a ton of information here. It has a full diagram, which I do like, especially when installing coolers, because they're all different and you never know what you're gonna, find and everything like that. And then we do have Intermax's own thermal paste on there, so you do have that included, which I always like to make sure you do have that with your CPU coolers, because nobody wants to get a cooler and then not have any thermal paste on there, so they can't install it right away. So, and then we have all of our mounting systems. Now this supports every new socket through AMD and Intel, including socket 2011. So you shouldn't have any issues with compatibility unless you're using something that's extremely odd or extremely old. So this supports everything. Now taking a look at the cooler itself, you can see on the front we have a 120 millimeter fan. Now this is a fan that actually, if you remove it, which I'll do at the end, it actually has controls on it that you can change the RPMs. Again, I'll go over that at the end, but that is actually pretty cool. But I would have just like a simple controller that would go on here. Nobody wants to go in their case, undo the fan, and then actually have to change the speed of the fan. I would like to be able to do it, right on a controller. A simple controller on here would be just fine. Now, taking a look how thick this cooler is, it is a single tower cooler, so it's not that thick whatsoever, and it's actually kind of light as well. So you want to take that into account, of course. And then you can take a look at the design of the heatsink here. Nice thick heatsink. I do like the coating on it. It just looks nice. I don't know if our video is doing this justice, but it just looks like a really great cooler. And then on the top, you can see we have the LEPA logo right there. And of course, our protruding heat pipes, which if we go down to the base, nice thick base. And then if we look here, we do have our sticker on there. We'll leave it on there for right now, but we do have 4 large heat pipes. And of course, those heat pipes make direct contact with your CPU. So you can see right here, our base is actually made up of the bottom of our heat pipes. So that is said to do better heat transfer. So instead of having a full CPU block with the actual heat pipes in the block is actually made up of the base of the heat pipes. As you can see, and of course those heat pipes will take the heat and take it up into our heat sink, and then of course our fan here will go ahead and cool off that heatsink. So very cool design. Again, I do like the coating on it. It just looks great, and I can imagine the white one looks just as good here. So you have that nice black coating on everything, but the heat pipes are copper as well as the base. The heatsink itself is made of aluminum. Now I'm going to go ahead and take off the fan here. See how easy that is? You can see these fan clips just come right off. So you can see your installation or taking this apart is not that hard. And if we go on the back here, you can see, if I get close, you can see the little adjustments that we do have here. So we have 800 to 1500 RPM, 800 to 1800 RPM, and then our third one, which is 800 to 2200 RPM. Now, if you don't change anything, it looks like it is set at the 800 to 1500 RPM mode. So remember, if you want to change that, you're going to go ahead and have to take that actually off of the heatsink itself, which again, as you saw, wasn't that hard. And another thing that I do want to mention, now that we do have it off, you can see we do have these little rubber pieces. There's 4 of them, and what those are actually going to do is less vibration. So when the fan is running, of course, these little rubber pieces will dampen that vibration. And another thing I want to mention, you do have these 2 clips that of course come with the pre-installed fan, but there are extra 2 with your accessories. So if you wanted to, you can install a second fan right here on the back, and they include all of that mounting hardware. So this has been our quick unboxing and overview of LEPA's LV12 CPU cooler. Now make sure you check back very soon on ThinkComputers.org, as we'll have our full written review. And remember guys, if you like our videos, why don't you subscribe? Catch you guys later.